Do you go grocery shopping and intentionally steer clear of the organic produce section? Maybe you're retired and money is tight, so you feel you can't afford to buy anything organic. After all, the organic product option is definitely going to be more expensive, right? Well, I've been there, so I know how it feels to have to watch your spending, and I'm always on the lookout for good deals and more ways to save money. So let's save some money together. In this episode, we'll talk about buying fruits and vegetables organic. Let's see if it's a fact or myth that organically grown produce will always be way more expensive than conventionally grown versions. I want to help you shop with confidence and enjoy plant-based eating more on a budget. So grab your tea or coffee and meet me on the inside. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. I want to first take a moment to spotlight a student review I received on the Plant Power Life Transformation course. PPLT Course student Connie says, "Before the course, I was out of ideas and felt a bit overwhelmed. Now I feel more confident and have even more ideas and ways I can incorporate plant-based foods, especially in the beans and lentils category. I feel less tired and fatigued, especially with incorporating more vegetables with breakfast." Thank you, Connie, for this feedback on the PPLT course. I'm thrilled to hear that after taking this course, you feel more confident in eating this way and are now armed with many meal ideas and ways to enjoy plant-based foods and ingredients. That's fantastic, too, to know that you have gained energy and feel less tired and fatigued by eating more plant-powered. Friend, let's remove your overwhelm in making a diet transition and help you gain more energy and confidence in eating this new way, too, so you can truly build the best health. Go to plantnourish.com/PPLT course to see how the Plant Power Life Transformation course can help you do that. I would love to support you more through this course and help you reach your weight and health goals. Now let's talk about buying foods organic. Before I started eating fully plant-based, I wasn't much into buying produce and products organic. At the time, this came down to two main reasons. First, I didn't know too much about the benefits of organically grown produce, and secondly, we were operating on a rather tight budget. I was working while my husband was in school finishing a doctoral program. Then we had a young family while he was the main breadwinner. So essentially, we were managing as a single income family. Now, after years of plant-based eating, I know more and have learned more, so I do buy more fresh produce organically grown, but not all. I operate on a more pragmatic approach when it comes to buying organically grown produce. I'll explain more about this, hopefully in a future episode. In this episode, though, let's address a common belief I hear about when it comes to grocery shopping: that getting fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables that have been organically grown will always be more expensive. Is this true? Let's look at this now. Yes, it's true that an organically grown produce item will tend to be listed at a higher price than a similar conventionally grown counterpart. This is partly due to the fact that different, more costly, but also more environmentally sustainable farming practices are used. But a large price difference may not always be there or in the way you expect. Let me explain. The other day, I needed some strawberries to make a baked dessert for company coming over. Since it was winter time, strawberries weren't in season, so I decided to get a bag of frozen strawberries instead. I knew I would be able to make use of frozen strawberries for longer too, since they will have a longer shelf life. Well, in the frozen section of my local grocery store, I immediately saw a price difference. A bag of organic strawberries was priced at $9.79, while a bag of the same quantity of 600 grams of the same brand of conventionally grown frozen sliced strawberries was being sold for just $6.49. That's a difference of $3.30. The good thing, though, was that this organically grown product was on sale at the time for $7.99. So it was actually only $1.50 more than the conventionally grown product. I bought the organically grown sliced strawberries in the end. I'm sure, like me, you've come across price differences like this too. But is this always the case that organic produce will be more expensive? Here's the good news. The price differences are actually not always so significant, and sometimes it can be potentially more cost saving to get the organically grown product version. Don't believe me? Here are just two examples from my past shopping trips. Once I was in Walmart getting groceries when I saw some grape tomatoes being sold in small plastic clamshell containers. Knowing how much my children love grape tomatoes, I decided to buy some. But which one? There were two product versions sold. The conventionally grown product from Mexico costed $3.47 for an amount weighing 283 grams. Then, next to it, a Sunset brand of World Wonders organically grown tomatoes was being sold for just $3.97. Both products essentially weigh the same, with only a gram difference in weight. I was expecting the organically grown produce version to be much more expensive, so I was pleasantly surprised to find that it was only about 50 cents more for the same quantity. And this may be the case for other fresh produce you buy. Sometimes, an organically grown produce item may be only a little bit more expensive, but considering the benefits, it may still be more worth it to get it, without setting you back too much grocery budget-wise. Now here's another shopping trip experience I want to tell you about. On a different grocery shopping trip, I came across different varieties of pears being sold in display bins in the fresh produce department. First, there were Bartlett pears being sold singly at $2.97 per pound. Then, close by was a bin with packaged bags of organic Andrew pears being sold for $5.97 for a 2-pound bag. At first glance, the organic Andrew pears seem obviously way more expensive than the Bartlett pears. But I decided to take a step further to investigate and confirm this. I took a couple of Bartlett pears and went to a nearby weighing machine to weigh them. To my astonishment, it took only 4 Bartlett pears to reach 2 pounds. So if I bought 2 pounds worth of these pears, I would be spending $5.94 and would only get 4 pears. What about the Andrew pears? I went back to count the number of pears in the 2-pound bag, and it came out to be 8 pears. Yes, they were a little smaller, but in my books, it still means my family will be able to enjoy more of these pears than just having 4 pears. So for nearly the same price, I would be essentially getting double the number of pears to enjoy, and these were the organically grown version too. Do you see now that it is not always true that an organically grown food product will be way more expensive? So here's a key takeaway. When grocery shopping, it's important to always look carefully and not just assume, or you could be missing out on some big potential savings. When you can, take time to compare prices between conventionally grown produce products with their organically grown counterparts. So today we looked at the question of whether fruits and vegetables that are organically grown will always be more expensive to buy than the conventionally grown versions. And we saw that no, this is not necessarily true. There are circumstances where it is actually cheaper and more cost-saving to get the organically grown version, or sometimes there is not much difference in price. By buying a fresh produce item organically grown, you will also be supporting organic farming methods and promoting better long-term health with less chemical pesticide exposure for farm workers. The key, though, is to always be on the lookout and to compare both product versions where possible, so you don't miss out on a good deal. Now here's an action step you can take. On your next grocery shop, before you reach for that same produce brand and product you normally always get, pause first. Take a minute to check the surrounding products to see if there is an organically grown product version available, and then what its cost might be. Sometimes you may be surprised to find that the price of the organically grown food item is comparable to that of the conventionally grown produce item, and it may be even cheaper. Friend, today I only touched a bit on organically grown produce, and we focused mainly on price comparisons. But there is a lot more that can be said about organically grown produce, especially with how that compares to conventionally grown produce. In fact, this is one area where I go into and discuss in a lot more detail within the online Plant Power Life Transformation course. So if you'd like to learn more about this and also gain practical strategies, essential kitchen skills, meal ideas, and easy plant-based recipes to enjoy, go to plantnourish.com/PPLT course to find out more about the Plant Power Life Transformation course. Let's build the best plant-powered health together. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please take a moment to rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or on iTunes. Knowing how this podcast has made a difference in your life never fails to light me up. I may also select your review to be read on the show. Remember that moving to plant-based eating can be simple and doable, even with your existing health challenges and busy lifestyle. If you have a plant-based diet question you'd like me to answer on this show, share that question with me using the contact options in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to connect with you again in the next episode. Until next time, keep plant-focused and thriving, my friend.